Okay, so this is some of the questions Eid asked me to go over of the homework he had. I've just set up the plane here. I've set it up exactly the same way I did in the last question. So if it's the setup of the plane you're struggling with, refer back to the video before this. All right, what do we have? We have a pentagon here that's tilted backwards. When you look in at the pentagon, at the true shape of it, right, it is a true pentagon here. All of these sides are equal, with one side being 35 millimeters long. Over on this side, then you have 75 millimeters, and each end slopes back 60 degrees up to the height. Now, there's a couple of things you need to look back on here. If you have a pentagon like this, the angle here is 72 degrees. So you should have your protractor ready for this one, because that's how you're going to draw this. You have a 35, and once you know that the angle there is 72, you can actually draw this whole pentagon. When you draw this pentagon, that's where you're going to get your height for this line over here and this overall height here. So we're going to start with this on this side. Right. So measure across. Now, I could say I could measure 35, but I actually don't know. What might actually be easier over here is if you, anywhere on your sheet, right, just make your lives a little bit easier. Draw a line across there. Draw your 35 millimeter line to there. Grab your protractor. Set it up. Mark 72 off. Okay. So this is the slope that line will go off at, this one here. And how you find that then is you get your compass, open it up to the full 35, and mark off to see where it ends. So about there like that. Each side of the pentagon, they're all the same. Now, to find the width that you need to come in here, easiest thing you can do is again set up, because I drew this line horizontal down here. Come down, and I have that little triangle there. What this is this corner here. That's that. So just make it look the same. All right. So I can now copy that distance with my compass. From here to here. I can mark that off. I can mark off my 35 here. Okay. And I can mark off this distance again on the other side. Okay. Extend this line along out to there. Now what I can do is I can open my compass up to the width of 35. And if you remember your geometry or theory, if I swing that arc up, it'll cross there. So that's where that point is. I can also swing this side up. That's floating out in space at the moment. Let the camera focus. What I have here, connect from there to there. Now, if I bring that line horizontally across, or if I bring it up from this edge, I'll find out where this other edge should come up to. Stops there. And the last thing I do is keep my compass at the 35. I mark off here from each side, and I find the center. And I can finish in that then. Right. That's my pentagon. So once I have this much information, I can go over and I can fill out the rest. What will also be useful to me here is if I just line these up and I bring this height, overall height, out so that I can use that to draw my end view, draw my elevation. Okay. So if I just move you over here a bit, what do I know? So I know that this baseline must come out 70 millimeters. So I can extend that now from here out to 70. So that's where that must stop. They tell you that it goes up 60 millimeters or 60 degrees on both sides. So I can go up 60. I can move my set square around and get my 60 coming up from this edge. Right. Then I'll go over here and I'll measure my heights. So there's the first height line. And here is the second height line. That's there. We'll just have to make sure we'll find out exactly where they are. Right. And then we can go parallel to the base. Draw this line in here. And draw this line in here. And I might just need to fill in some detail then and just bring all my lines to where they're meant to be. So I can do that now. Just the shadow of the light there. Okay. So we have this much here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to bring it down and draw the axonometric of it. So you can see if you were to compare these proportions wise, this looks about right to that top part there. And that looks, if you just look at it, it looks like a true pentagon as well. So what do we do? There's only 5 lines I need to bring in from this side, so I'm going to bring all of those in all together. Make my life a little bit easier. So I can extend this one down. I can bring this all the way along. Bring that a little bit further down actually. I can bring, I don't know if I was using the other set square. Just because it's longer, that's all. So you can bring this top line down. Bring this edge down. Now, when you bring these lines down, if that edge appears on top of the ridge line or the very, very top line on the drawing, what that means is it's actually going to be seen. So you'll need to make sure you put in that side line over here in your 3D view. Okay. Once we have that, I'm going to say we'll start at the front and work our way back. Front, up and back. So, setting these up. Make sure we have our lines parallel coming in. This baseline is going to come in, and it's going to be a solid line straight away because I know it's going to touch the floor. I've missed a line coming in there, so bring in the baseline. Okay. So, set my set squares up. Bring this line in. So that's going to be from this line here over to this line here. That's the first one I have. Okay. Next one is this. That's going to be touching this line. So if I bring that in, it's going to touch this edge, and it's going to touch this edge. So I'll just mark those off a little bit darker just so I can see them. And the last one I can bring in straight away is this apex point here. Bring that in, it's there. And I'm also going to bring in the back of the apex as well. Right. If I just take those points, I can draw in. I know that apex is going to look like that. Okay. I can connect base here to this side, which was this point. Connect that to the front of the top. And do the same coming back down the other side. Okay, so we have that much detail there. I can also bring in my ground line here. I can just draw that straight in because I know that it goes from this edge here to this point here. So that goes from the front all the ways to the back. Right. Once we have that much detail in, there's just a little bit more we need to do. We need to fill in 1 point back here, which is where the top slopes down to this line that contains this point, and it's actually the same point on this side. So bring in that one line, which is this point here. Bring that in, see where does it cross. So it crosses this line here, and it crosses this line here. Now I'm doing quite big dots on this just so you can see them on the video. You wouldn't need to do dots that size at all. Right, what do we have then? Is that we just take a look now and double check. So this edge comes in and that hits that point. That's that line, that's that line. Right, the top connects back to there. And we also know that same as the front here, that will connect down to that base point. All right, we'll know that there's a continuous line going between these two here. There's a continuous line going from this edge, sorry, that point to that point there. And at that point also connects back up to the top here. Now, that's actually that question done. Right, the reason this looks so skewed is just the way the shape is of the object. And if you want a bit of help understanding why it looks so out of place, which it really does, right, just look at this sketch here and you'll see it's a similar proportions, kind of strange angles on the back of it there. It's just the way this face slopes. It will just look a little bit strange. That, if you're looking in from the edge, as you saw up here, that looks like a straight line. So it's a little bit tricky. But if you just follow the points, right, so you know that, let's say if we labeled this line A1 and 2, and if we labeled the front A1 and the back A2, you can follow those in. So there's A1 is here, it's on the front. A2 comes in along this line, and it's on this line. That's that one there. All right. That's all that question then. If you want another video on any other one, just let me know.